Have you ever find yourself putting so much effort and energy into something, but then it feels like the result is not matching the efforts that you're putting in? That's exactly where I find myself now with respect to this YouTube channel. So about a month ago, I created this channel, and let's backtrack a bit. Before I tell you about why I created this channel, let me give you a bit of a history. So 6 years ago, I created a YouTube channel that currently has a little over 12,000 subscribers. But over the course of the 6 years, sometimes I create content, sometimes I fall off. But the interesting thing is that I've had a very interesting trajectory in terms of career progression. So I started the channel when I was in pharmacy school. Then I was in the hospital, I created content. I moved on to do cloud computing. I moved on to do software engineering, masters in health informatics. Or along these lines, I've been creating content. So I have a very mixed audience, and it was becoming very difficult to know what kind of content to create for them. But I'm done with school now, and my real passion is in solving problems and building companies that will solve problems. So in the entrepreneurship space, and I'm also focused on helping startups. So I decided that I was going to create this channel where I study various startups and take the lessons that there is to take from them, then apply it to my own startup journey. But in doing so, I'd also document every lesson that I learn, so that people like yourself who come across it will be able to pick up from it and learn as well. That is the history and why I created this channel. But in the course of the 1 month, when I started, it was, okay, let's analyze as many successful companies as possible. And even if it's their failure stories, we're going to analyze it and share the lessons. And I started creating that. About 2 weeks ago, I made a decision that why not treat this content business, that if I may call it, as a startup in itself. So I decided I was going to take it serious and start treating it as a startup. What this meant to me at the time was that I was going to post daily, because when I'm building startups, I work on my startup almost every single day. So I was going to treat it same way, work on this daily. That means that every single day I create content and I publish it. And the content that I was creating was essentially just analyzing various startups and taking out lessons and sharing with you all. Boy, oh boy. The challenges that I faced doing this, oh my goodness. And I know if you have been creating content, or if you have been doing anything in a startup space, you would understand that it comes with its own challenges, and sometimes it's very frustrating. But let me give you what the situation is right now. As I'm talking to you, it's been like we have about 2 more days to exactly 1 month since the channel was created. And the past 2 weeks, I've been creating content, publishing content every single day. This meant that every day I have to be awake, sometimes up to like 2 a.m., sometimes even 4 a.m. to record a video. Then once I have recorded a video, I need to edit the video. Then I need to schedule the video. So some of the recommendations to make the YouTube video do well, I'm trying to follow all the best practice. You need to design thumbnails, you need to write the description, you need to find tags, like trying to do all of those things. But then I have limited time, and it's exhausting me because I have a full-time job, I have my startup that I'm working on, and I have this side project which I'm trying to turn into a business as well. And I know that if you are watching this and you're building something on your own, especially if you also have a full-time job, you can relate to how challenging this whole thing is. So today, or as of yesterday I asked myself, I was doing a brainstorming session with Claude, and I've written about this in the past before, where I do brainstorming sessions routinely with some of the LLMs, especially Claude. I love it for brainstorming. And I told Claude that, hey, I'm trying to build this YouTube channel, and this is my stats right now. I want you to be brutally honest with me. Be very critical, because this is an all or none. That's exactly what I told you. This is an all or none strategy for me. So be critical with me. And he told me that you are serving no one. Like, who is your target audience? That was the question Claude was asking me. And I started reflecting on it. Who exactly am I speaking to? Like, who is this content that I've been creating over the past 1 month for? Initially, I thought that entrepreneurs and founders would find it interesting. They would want to learn from the successful companies. But when I started going through that brainstorming session, a lot of things came up or surfaced. One is such that like there are a lot of gurus out there who are giving startup advice. There are a lot of gurus who are analyzing these things. Like there are big YouTube channels that are analyzing these stories. So what sets you apart from them? I needed to understand the differentiation. Yes, in the past I had already established what the differentiation was going to be. For me, it was going to be bringing in the learner's angle. So I'm not presenting myself as a guru in the space. I've been doing entrepreneurship for quite some time, but even with that, I'm not coming off as somebody who has figured it out, because I'm still in the trenches learning and sharing what I'm learning with everyone else. So that was going to be my unique differentiation. But the question is, who exactly am I targeting? And if you say entrepreneurs and founders, that's so broad. Like saying that my startup serves everybody that wants things. Like that's so broad, and because every entrepreneur, every founder may be interested in a startup story, but then what exactly do they benefit from watching you? Then if we are going to treat it as a business, one of the things that we need to think about is monetization strategy, because you don't have a business until you have somebody who is paying you for whatever service or product that you have offering them. At least that's one lesson that I learned very early in life. So anytime I think about a business, I have to think about how am I going to make money from this? And of course, you say YouTube, when I create a YouTube channel and eventually I get monetized, YouTube is going to pay me for having this content. So yes, maybe that is a good strategy. Maybe it's a good monetization strategy. But to treat this whole thing as a startup or as a business, that YouTube monetization isn't enough, because there's no guarantee that you get there anytime soon, right? But you want to optimize as much as possible. So the first thing that I needed to understand is, what is the problem that I'm solving? So I started off with, I'm interested in startups, I'm interested in entrepreneurship, so I want to create this. And that is a classical problem that most of us have when we start startups or businesses. We are usually starting with the solution. I have a solution in mind. Now, what is the problem? And that was really bad of me, because it's not my first time doing any business, doing a business. So I should have thought better about it. But yeah, I got that clarity from the brainstorming session that I did yesterday with Claude, and it was very eye-opening. So now I had to go back to the drawing board to identify what really is the problem that I want to solve for, and who am I solving a problem for. So now I've put together a framework. I've adopted a framework to help me identify, one, the reason why I'm even doing this in the first place and who I'm doing it for, what's problem I'm solving. And in subsequent video, I'm going to walk you through the framework that I use and how I settled on my ideal audience. But the essence of this video was to share with you some of the challenges that we face as individuals trying to start businesses, and also what lessons we can learn from this past 1 month that I've been doing this, and all the challenges that I've faced. Because the goal of this channel, as it stands now, it's supposed to be some sort of a laboratory where we experiment with all these lessons that we're learning, and we get to know what works and what doesn't work. I feel that when we hear the gurus talk about things, and today I was having a conversation with a very good friend of mine, and I mentioned this, that when I go and watch a video that talks about how I made my first $1 million doing ABCD, some of us cannot relate, because you are wondering, how do I make my first $1,000? Or somebody is even thinking, how do I make my first $1? How do I make my first $100? That person is not worried about how to make $1 million, because they cannot even relate. They cannot imagine themselves doing that, because they've not been able to achieve that small amount. So those people who are looking for the smallest thing, or even the first step to take, I want to start a business, what's the first thing to do? So in that case, this channel is where we are starting from scratch. We are building a content business from scratch with zero audience. So I created a new channel for it. I didn't use my existing channel, so that we start from zero. Then we document all the lessons that we learn from it. And I'm really happy that I got that clarity sitting over it, the brainstorming session yesterday, and now even today, that was when I sat down to write all the things and created a Notion document and put all of those pieces together, and now started thinking about what content to create. So now when I'm about to create a topic or come up with an idea for a video, like this particular video that I'm doing, I do not go in for a generic video idea. I'm thinking about that target audience and what they are going to benefit from it. And my focus is that by the end of watching this video, there is a lesson or an action plan that you can draw out of this. So in this specific video, what I really want you to understand is, if you are starting a business, if you are starting a YouTube channel, if you're starting content creation, whatever you are starting that you really want to make it into a big thing, you want to treat it as a startup, then this is one of the highlights for you. One, you need to understand why you are trying to do this. Two, you need to understand what problem you are trying to solve. And three, you need to understand who you are solving that problem for. Then another important thing is the monetization strategies. How do you intend to monetize it? And once again, I would say you don't have a business until you have somebody who is paying for that service you're providing or the products that you're providing. So for this YouTube channel right now, I need to start. I actually did that, and I'm going to walk you through in subsequent videos, as I mentioned, to lay out exactly who am I targeting, how am I going to make money from it. Maybe along the line, I'll do some consulting. Maybe along the line, I'll prepare some digital products. I'll produce some digital products. I'll build some tools because I'm a software engineer. So this is my domain. Things that startups or founders or people who are interested in getting into the arena and building things for themselves. Even if you have a full-time gig, just like myself, and you're still doing this on the side, you'll find a lot of value in here. So my question for you right now is, if you are in or you fall in any of the categories of the people that I've talked about and you're looking to build something for yourself, the first thing that I'm asking is, have you identified the reason why you want to do this? Then, have you identified who your target audience is? Who is your ideal customer? So one of the things that I did today was actually to paint out who that ideal customer, the avatar for that ideal customer. So that as I'm talking right now on this video, I'm actually thinking about that one character that I've called Sarah. And this is the position, this is where Sarah is, this is her age. I know exactly what they're looking for, and I'm going to speak directly to them. So have you also identified that ideal customer that you want to serve? And if you have identified it, what problem is that ideal customer suffering from that you're going to help them? You're going to be the one that is going to provide them a solution to through your product. And are there existing solutions that they are currently seeking or using? And what is going to make you different from them? So all of these things are things that I've been able to answer for myself. And I want to know you as well. Have you thought about it? And in a comment section, go ahead and tell me in the comment, what is the one problem that you're really passionate about solving, and who are you solving it for? Please don't be generic. Don't say I'm passionate about solving the problem for students who are trying to go to school. Because everybody who is a student is trying to go to school or anything. But be very, very specific. Like, what kind of students? Maybe international students who are studying in the US, who are struggling to get finances. Those are my targets. Or be very specific. So go ahead and drop it in the comments. Let me know what you are trying to do. And also, the one goal for me right now is to build a community that helps people who are in this phase of their life. They're trying to start something. And maybe in the next video, I'll delve more into all of these. But yeah, if you find yourself relating to any of the things that I'm saying right now, I believe that you are in good company right now. I'd love to connect with you. Therefore, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. Let's connect and build this together. I really want this channel to be the channel where we all learn together and we grow together. So I'll see you in the next video, where I talk to you about how you can also narrow down who your audience is, especially if you don't know, and how I have done it. And hopefully I would also share with you if any of these strategies that I take or I'm putting in place help the channel in any way or the business that I'm trying to create. I'm going to be very honest and plain by sharing, or transparent by sharing everything with you. So as it stands now, as I'm recording this video, we only have 24 subscribers on this channel. If the change or the pivot that I'm about to do helps the channel grows any further, you would see it for yourself. If it doesn't as well, I'm happy to come back to the drawing board and revise the strategy depending on what happens. And I hope that you would be happy to join me on this journey. I long to see you in the next video. So do subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification, and don't miss out on the next video. Until then, bye bye for now.